And once again, we can never fucking win in the cutscenes. Long ago, before the Cagliostro Academy of Magic was established near the capital, alchemy research in the kingdom was conducted by an organization called the Faust Organization, which later became the foundation for the academy. Alchemy was the divine work of the apostle Hermes. To revive the secrets in the modern age was essentially a challenge to the gods. They researched relentlessly. At times, they would compete and cooperate to give new life to the lost system of alchemy. It was the Restoration era of alchemy. The three alchemists with the most remarkable achievements came to be known as the Three Sages.
何をしていたの、あなた？
ジューマの培養液の調整をね。アルベルトスの術式は本当に優秀だ。おかげで管理がだいぶ楽になったよ。
Also, something Nicola / Agrippa is Arya's actual dad.
あらあら、あなたったらまたそんな。ねえ、そっちに行ってもいい？
それは構わないけど、おっと。
Nicola seemed surprised at his wife, who suddenly plopped on his lap. Holding the test tube, he made sure the contents didn't spill before repositioning himself on the couch so she could sit more comfortably. And this is why Agrippa became, Nicola became Agrippa, blah blah blah, Cornelia died, whatever.
どうしたんだい急に。
Became Ash Demon or whatever.
だってあなたがジューマにばかり夢中になっているんだもの。もうすぐこの子が生まれるのに、霊種のニコラは試験管の中の子の方が大事みたい。
まさか。君と君のお腹の子のことは何よりも大切に思っているさ。
本当に？
もちろん。いいかい？僕の研究は君たちの未来のためだ。研究一筋だった僕にそう思わせてくれたのは君なんだから。
Spent 10 whole years devoting his life to his studies. Nicola was known to be eccentric and strange, though after meeting many others who shared the same values, he managed to obtain the title of sage. Excelling more than anyone else in the field of demon partners, people began referring to him as the commander, as his alternate title among the three sages. But for Nicola, the more important thing was not the praises from the people, but one woman. Cornelia was Nicola's colleague, the organization. She transferred to be Nicola's assistant and became close in both their public and private life.
やっぱり行くのね、ソシエの果て。
生まれてくる子にダストに怯えなくて済む世界を残したい。僕の世代でできなくても、せめて未来につなげたいんだ。
もちろん私もついていくわよ。
本気かい？
The biggest mistake she could have ever made, honestly.
あなたの助手だもの。
でもお腹の子は。
出発は予定日の後でしょ。機関にも相談して預かってもらう段取りはつけてある
の。だけど。
Nelia sealed his words of refusal with her finger against his lips.
確かに母親としては褒められた選択ではないかもしれないわ。けれど行きたい。これは私のエゴなの。最愛の人が死地に赴こうとしている。それも私たちの未来のため。だったら隣を歩むのが私の願いよ。
コルネリア。
Calling his wife's name, Nicola placed his hand on top of hers. He felt her warmth from her fingers. Right now, there are 2 lives in his arms. And soon there will be 0. My love began to surge in him. With her, he felt nothing. It was impossible.
わかったよ。オーズに行くなら君も一緒だ。
You shouldn't have done that.
本当？後でやっぱりダメだなんて言っても聞かないわよ。
君は一度言い出したら聞かないからな。でも大丈夫だ。僕たちでこの未来を守りに行こう。
ええ。愛してるわ、あなた。
And then the 2 kissed. During this time, Nicola strongly believed in a future where the threat of the dust can be annihilated by the secrets of alchemy. Little did he know what sacrifices he'd have to make to achieve that. He was unaware of the cruel truth of ore. 5 months later, they left their newborn daughter Arya behind and set out to the edge of Sochi. Thought it was a light nap, but when he woke up, the darkness of night covered the area. Ripper's eyes creepily squirmed under his mask as he caught the sight of Cinderella's sleeping behind him and let out a sigh of relief.
容体は安定したようじゃな。
Reaching out, he paused right before his fingers met her cheek. Fingers were like withered wood, rotten and dull beyond recognition in comparison to the Nicola in the dream. With these hands, he can't even touch his. So Agrippa became like Nicola. Nicola became Agrippa after something. Wife died, became Ash Demon. You know, like how Anna definitely became Namtar. With these hands, he can't even touch his wife. Just that thought was enough for the rage to build up inside.
我ではお主と共に歩むことはできん。この体が持つのもあとわずかじゃ。賢者の石ならあるいはと思った。しかし、憎悪に魂を捧げた我が未来を考えるなぞ。やはり未練じゃよの。
Talk about a skill issue. With what crossed his mind was the boy's ability to use the Philosopher's Stone. With a single touch, Shin could exterminate an Ash Demon. Be Cinderella's companion, Agrippa lusted for that so desperately that, and yet that boy rejected it. That only erupted an unforgivable amount of rage and hatred inside, except that he didn't, just take a look at Namtar. Agrippa laughed, his teeth chattering from hatred, and his bony figure creaking.
我が魂魄尽き果てる前にこの偽りの世界に引導をくれてやる。
I'm not. No. Agrippa raised his skull-shaped ash furnace. The dust rising from the empty eye sockets were repairing Cinderella's body, while it steadily ate away the destroyer's remaining life. Meanwhile, Shin was caring for Namtar. He was also burned by the sun's rays like Cinderella. He applied a burn ointment similar to the one for humans. Using the power of corruption, he enhanced her natural healing power. He wasn't sure how effective it was for ash demons, but Namtar seemed to be comfortably resting on Shin's lap. That just goes to show how strong Cinderella is compared to Namtar. Like, she was taking the full brunt of that of the sun for like however long, and then Namtar got like a few seconds of it and is almost dead. She's sleeping well. I guess she should be fine. After placing his hand on her cheek, Namtar nuzzled affectionately.
ちょっと羨ましい。ですわね。なんでもありませんわ。それより。
I might split this VOD up too, by the way. Altina quickly turned to the side and eyed Arya.
ナムタルのこともそうですが、アリアさんを気遣ってあげた方がいいのではなくて、アルベルトス様からあんな話を聞かされては、とても冷静ではいられないでしょう。
Well, yeah. The Destroyer Agrippa and Cinderella were her real father and mother. Being told the shocking truth must be unbearable. And gently rested Namtar's head on some folded clothes, who then tried to approach Arya, who had her back turned toward them.
私なら大丈夫だよ。シン。
Likely story. Arya?
アグリッパとハイカブリ姫の正体がどうあれ、あの二人がソシエに滅びをもたらそうとする破壊者には変わりないもの。
I mean, you know, to be fair, she was a baby. She didn't even know her real dad and mom.
私は断りを守る錬金術師。だから、相手がたとえ私の両親だとしても、ためらったりしない。
She kind of did. I mean, she kind of got abandoned by them when they went to war. They could have stayed behind and none of this would have happened, you know.
私の父さんはここにいる父さんだけだから、だから戦うよ。
I'm calling them bad parents. With that said, Arya turned to Albertos with an accusing look.
でもひどいな。こんな大事なこと黙ってるなんて。
すまなかった。お前を傷つけたくなかったんだ。この世には知らない方がいい真実もある。
錬金術師は真理を探求するもの。そう言ったのは父さんだよ。見くびらないでよね。無敵のアルベルトスの娘はそんなに弱くないんだから。
本当に強くなったな。
Arya's expression was cheerful, but she must be forcing herself. And decided to ask another question to his master on her behalf. Did Nicola the Commander become the Destroyer Agrippa because his wife became an ash demon? They set out to the edge of Sochi, just as we are doing now. You were with them on that journey, am I right?
そうだ。私たちは良き友だった。共に砂漠を越え、オーズの真実を求めた。
その旅の途上、ニコラ様の奥様が人家に侵された。
私は止めたんだ。あの時、まるで私たちの行く手を阻むように、ダストの嵐が吹き荒れていた。あの嵐の中を進むのは無謀だと。しかし、ニコラは諦めなかった。そして、夫を一人で行かせるわけにはいかないと、コルネリアも。
なんだか似ています。 私とフランス先生の時と。
The desert of death sifted through the alchemists who go on the pilgrimage. Many become victims of the dust or were forced to give up. Perhaps experiences like Master Alberto's and Miss Sonia have been repeated many times in the history of Arceus.
私は二人の帰りを待った。しかし、約束の期日が来ても、彼らは戻ってこなかったのだ。そのうち食料が尽きて、断念せざるを得なかった。私はオートに戻り、アリアを引き取ることに決めた。彼らが戻ってくる日まで、せめて二人の娘を育てようと。しばらく経って錬金術を悪用する破壊者の噂を聞いた。使う術式の傾向からまさかと思ったが、信じたくなかった。破壊者アグリッパの正体が我が友ニコラだと確信を持ったのは最近になってからだ。
That what happened?
今だから言うが、私はフィールドワークと称してお前やアリアを連れていた時も破壊者の動向を探っていた。そしてあの日、芯を拾ったのも破壊者を追っていた時だった。
Wait, that means Shin was shocked at what Alberto's was hinting at.
そうだ、シン。君の故郷を襲った侵食現象は破壊者が引き起こしたものだ。少なくとも奴が侵食を拡大させた。
そんな。
Shin couldn't help but look at Namtar who was still sleeping. Anna, if his little sister didn't fall victim to the dust, she would have grown just like Namtar. Much as her, Shin lost way too many things due to the sudden disaster.
憎いだろう、アグリッパが。そして奴の強行を止められなかった不甲斐ない私のことが。
No, Master. I'm the one who was unworthy on that day. I let go of Anna's hand since then. I've always regretted it. And I've always wanted to become stronger. I didn't want anyone else to experience what I did. This is why I pursued becoming an alchemist. You're the one who showed me the way, Master.
シン。
So instead of hatred or resentment, how do you say it? I feel sad. I bet Nicola and Cornelia had the same ideas as us. They searched for the truth, for the people, and for this future of Soshi. Which is why I don't understand why they'd be so twisted like that. Yeah, I don't know either.
シン君は霊種のニコラが破壊者アグリッパになった理由が気になっているんですね。
Yeah, we've been waiting 100 hours.
最愛の妻コルネリアがカイマになった。だからニコラも道を踏み外したのでは？
Okay, yeah, I understand that, but you know, there has to be more to it than that.
けれど娘のアリアもいるのにソシエを滅ぼそうなんて。ごめんなさい。気にしないで、エンリちゃん。シンの言いたいこともわかるよ。ニコラ、アグリッパがソシエの果てで何を見たのかだよね。
Arya did not sound like she respected her real father at all. On top of that, she nodded to Shin with a serious expression.
ソシエの果てにニコラを破壊者に変えるほどの何かがあるとしたら。
Maybe our final task could be to overcome that.
ソシエを守護する錬金術師が
自分の生き方の全てを否定するほどの何か。
そう聞くと恐ろしいですね。一体何が。
みんな推論をするのも結構だが、今はそれより優先すべきことがあるのではないか。破壊者と国化させられたキュベを放っておくわけにはいかん。すぐに追いかけなければ。
そうでしたわね。あの者たちを教会に行かせてはなりませんわ。
With Sasha's advice, they all turned their attention back to the matters at hand. They all looked at each other and discussed what to do next.
今更だけど、さっき神殿の天井を崩した家臣はキュベ様で間違いないの？
由々しきことだがね。私がキュベのことを間違えるはずがない。姿は変わっていても、あれは地のオリジン、キュベだ。
どうしてあのキュベ様がたやすく国化させられるなんて。
That's what I'm saying. It took me so long to beat her.
キュベは死の砂漠を広げないために相当量のダストを引き受けていた。破壊者はそれを逆手に取ったのだろう。
Oh, we're still going to workshop though, right?
キュベ様は大地を守ろうとして家臣に落とされた。
Then it's our turn next to save her. She's been protecting us all this time, so we better purify Kyubey.
阻止への果てに行くにはオリジンのエレメントが必要なの。キュベだけ書いてるわけにはいかないわ。
幸いというか、キュベはあの巨体だ。移動には時間がかかる。今の君たちなら破壊者を追えるだろう。私も微力ながら協力させてもらう。
See, it makes even less sense, right? Because of Namtar. Literally, Agrippa knows that Namtar used to be an ash demon, which means that he should know that Shin was able to purify her using the Philosopher's Stone, which means why can't Shin do the same with Cornelia, right? What, like, what, like, huh? And also, he purified Apsu, and he's going to purify Kyubey, and he's not going to purify Agrippa or Cinderella, because, of course not. They're the main antagonists. We're assuring to have you with us, Master.
破壊者との決着はつけねばならないからね。
無理しないでね、父さん。
お互いにね、アリア。私たちの因縁を君が背負うことはないのだから。
The father and daughter encouraged each other while taking each other's feelings into consideration. The group then proceeded to prepare and replenish their supplies in the temple. Where? Still only 3 Dungeon 7, so we're locked in at the moment. But with that, I think it is time for me to end. And look at that. We're still in the tower after Kyubey got oh yeah, I forgot that Kyubey got corrupted. So now she's heinous. We'll just do what we did with Apsu, and we'll save her. So let's get into it. Hey, look, a pyramid. Alright. First of all, quick save. Let's see if there's new crests. I doubt it. It's probably gonna be ash demons, right? No, it's not gonna be ash demons, but it sure as hell ain't gonna be new characters. Oh yeah, and then I also, I may have upgraded some people, as in, I upgraded Shin's, Enri's, and Namtar's weapons, of course. Look at that. See, Shin can actually do damage now. Which way to go? Okay, it doesn't matter. Let's just clear these out, and then I can backtrack to the campsite. I'm just hoping to get more dragon meat. Look, I don't need to. I need to do AoEs for all of them. Oh yeah, and then I also, I changed some crests around, you know how it is. No. Enri as pursuit magic now. So okay, well, here's what I'm gonna do. Okay, that's the biggest piece of bullshit I've ever seen. Yes. Fucking goofy. I don't want Prokel. I already have Naga. She's already good enough. Naga's just a better Prokel. Alright. Let's do some quick save. Let's see what I can get from here. Dykes. Okay, so Prokel is one. Genome is as one. Is another. Prokel again. I mean, the minimum is like 3. Naga. Okay, I'll take it. Oh, there's a campsite over there. So let's just backtrack then to get you. Hey, dragon meat! I'm so glad I've got dragon meat. I can't wait to use it on no one. Now I'm looking for sapphire, you know? I already used it on Enri. That's why she's got different stuff. You know? Other than Enri, like, the only other characters are, you've got, God damn it. You've got Arya's weapon, and you've got, Celeste's weapon, and, you know, I don't think Celeste needs a new weapon, is all I'm saying. Considering her role is actually, is only just, shielder. Of course, a fucking course is gonna use bullshit invincible. Go fuck yourself. See, unfortunately for you, Shin actually does damage. So alright. There's a fucking spider web. Alright, let's see what you have. 4 golden mushrooms. Let's backtrack now. This is like the most useless one way ever. You've got you've got 3 ways to go to this magnifying glass, and 2 of them are 2 ways. So it's just, why? What's the point of it? You know what? I'll buy it. Wow, that was such a useful one-way. What's here? Yikes! I got so many Nagas now, even though I'm not going to use her on anyone except Shin and Namtar. Look, like, Enri doesn't need it, Celeste doesn't need it, and what I'm using, with how I'm using Valtina, she definitely doesn't need it. You know, she's an attack buffer. I'm using her as an attack buffer. You know, this one way is similarly as useless. I'm still getting mithril ore. Like, bro, I don't need mithril ore. Hey, look! Horn of Crimson Blades. Blaze. I have 2 of them now. Right? Where is it? Who else needed it? Oh, right, yeah. I've got 2 of them now. Let's get out of here. Once again, the most useless one-ways. And let's fight. Scepter is best, yes.
さあかかってらっしゃいな。
Scepter will be best for a unicorn.
アーマーディバイド。よくも。
チェーンブレード
Don't miss.
チェーンブレード
Stop missing.
シンフォニックギア。頑張ったご褒美はお菓子がいいな。
Alright, chest.
もらっていきましょう。
ちょっと休憩していこうか。
よかった。
Maybe I should have gone the other way first, you know. It's a little more efficient, but still.
立ちふさがるなら戦うしかない。
Alright. Don't let me down. Don't let me down with chain blade. Don't miss.
アーマーディバイド。
うわーうわーチェーンブレードチェーンブレー
オーバーカスト。当然の結果というものですわね。
Actually, you know what would have made Prokel more viable is if I go to the if I go to her instead of instead of MP recovery, it gave flying, right? And then I would be like, okay, that's actually pretty good because then I can replace well, maybe okay, that maybe not Anzu, and definitely not Ushumgalu. Okay, what was that?
疲れたもん。
Alright, I've got max SP as well. New area. Oh well. New extension to area. Holy one ways. Alright. Let's go this way first.
ド
Haha, fairy butterfly wings.
よくわかんない
Thank you, plants.
けど飲み物か。
And there are the ash demons. Okay, I was waiting for them.
アーマーディバイド。フィルムレイン。フィルムレイン。シンフォニックギア。もう大丈夫だぞ。敵の匂い消えた。
That's why there's so many fart clouds now.
ナムタ友達守る。
I probably don't have the right gear on
ミド
unicorn.
ルショット
Let me see.
フィルムレイン。
錬金術の奥義は戦いにも通じているんだ。
Alright. Time to backtrack.
よくわかんないけど。ロール整備の時間ですわ。
Get farted on. Don't care. I restore again. Which way? Okay. This way. I'm back just reading it. How is it?
よかった。見つけたのね。怖くなんてないわ。
I was not expecting Apprentice Grim
いつでも
Reaper.
行けるの。
Just chatting, or what do you want to know? What should I go for? You know what? Let's do this. So focus mainly on 3-4. I mean, yeah. 3-4, 3-2, 2-3, 2-4, 2-3. But yeah. Stop missing. Thank you, Pursuit Magic. It's 20 page every chapter. Oh, that's good. I don't know the average for a manga, but I think the average is like 20, 21, 20, 22, 22, 25. I have 2 blueprints for Corsair. Oh. I see. Well, it's time to start farming. You know, for a weapon that utilizes the Philosopher's Stone as one of its skills, right? I would have expected Shin's weapon, you know, the one that utilizes the Philosopher's Stone to, oh, I don't know, have like a kind of passive that decreases the chance of missing on an Ash Demon. It won't go well, just saying. Oh god. That's not a good sign.
ちょっと休憩していこうか。この術式で活路を開く。
Let's just get rid of these guys. Damn, he didn't miss any of those shots. Look, Dexter, it's just do auto search. I don't know why I went all the way back there. It's either the lolly or the succubus. It's the safe choice. God damn it! Is it because the orc is a? Is it because the orc is a? Is it an alcoholic, or is there something else? Because I can deal with an alcoholic, depending on how they act when they're drunk, but still, if it's just because she's an alcoholic, I can deal with it. So, you know, don't tell me there's something else. Yeah, let's fight the boss right now. When I have no mana. Oh, yikes. Maybe I should focus. Maybe I should do math on the mana cost. The lolly is still a virgin though. You want to Dex. Alright. I didn't miss anything, right? That felt a little bit fast. Maybe because I was focusing on Azulane and non-monster girls. Nope, there's nothing else. So, you know the answer to that? Yes, I do. Alright, let's get into it. Let's actually get into it. The night in the desert was filled with bone-chilling air. Rubbing their frigid hands and enduring the discomfort of the sand in their boots, Shin and the others gradually climbed the dune. Eventually, they reached the ridge and looked northward. Beyond the night sky was a dim white light.
まるで月のよう。けれどあれが
Yeah. Must be Astarte. She turned into a cocoon to plug the crack on the boundary and is also serving as a guide for our journey.
私はあそこから来たの？思い出せない。けれど懐かしい感じがする。
I'm sure you'll find out soon. We've come this far.
うん、そうね。
Shin patted Henry on her back. She peered over to Shin before turning back to the cocoon.
みんな、あそこ。どうしたの、ヘンリー？
姫様、私にも見えました。2時の方向、巨大な物体が移動中。暗視スコープで確認。キュベです。
Uh-oh. That's oh yeah, she said it was Cube. Yeah, that's definitely Cube. Merged within the darkness of the night sky, a rocky shadow resembling a turtle was crawling across the desert. Oh boy. I'm gonna have to fight her again. I am not looking forward to this. The distance was approximately 3 kilometers apart. Compared to their speed, they could most likely catch up. Let's go. We can't keep Cube like that.
シン、アグリッパとハイカブリ姫は私が引きつけよう。その間に過信浄化を行ってほしい。
Okay, look, Alberto, considering the state the other two sages are in, I don't have good prospects for you, buddy. You're taking on the destroyer by yourself?
アグリッパは人家病の末期。ハイカブリ姫もさっきのダメージが残っている。やりようはあるさ。
Yeah, that sounds like a death flag right there. But
シン、頼む。誰かがやらねばならないことなら私が。
okay, Alberto is gonna die, sacrificing himself to save everyone from the destroyer and Cinderella. I understand. There was no point in arguing here. Heinous god Cube was heading toward the boundary where Astarte was. Cube destroys that cocoon. An unbelievable amount of dust will pour in from the cracks of the boundary. Purify the heinous god. We have to fight Cube and weaken her to a certain degree. We'll split into a group that fights Cube and a group that supports Master. Let's think of a plan and attack the destroyers.
了解。望むところだ。
ナモタル、今度は負けないぞ。うん、ここは強気に行こう。私たちは破壊者を追い詰めているんだものね。
The darkened figure was moving along the valley beneath smaller dunes. They split up into two and began their pursuit along the ridge.
来たわね。今度はこちらが返り討ちにしてあげる。
Haha. Cinderella!
規制型のドールもいます。
Of course they are. The sand rose as many dolls emerged. Under the command of Cinderella, they moved naturally to surround the group.
一体どこからあんなに調達したんだ。
おそらくアグリッパの自作だろう。
ドールの制作技法はマルドゥク派の機密ですわ。それを解析してここまでのものを作り上げたというんですの？
No, it's more like Yoren probably leaked information to Agrippa. Agrippa is Nicola the commander. It'd be no surprise. Nicola was once known as the best alchemist in the field of demon partners. His skill must be utilized in the creation of the dolls.
シン、ここは私が引き受ける。君たちは先を急ぐんだ。
あなたなんか眼中にないわ、アルベルトス。私はシンを、私を拒絶した男を殺したいの。
You know, I'm sensing a bit of NTR energy from you, Cinderella, considering that you used to be Nicola's wife before you became an ash demon. You know, you are the only reason... You becoming an ash demon is the only reason Nicola became a gripper. So...
いや、私を見てもらうさ。今度こそ。
Alberto's controlled his spiral circuit. The winds that rose turned into blades and sliced through Cinderella's tentacles.
目障りな、何度も邪魔をした。
今だ行け。行くんだ、シン。
Master, alright. Right as Alberto's drew Cinderella and the doll's attention, Shin took advantage of the moment and to dive into the slope. He slid across the sand and closed in on Cube. Arya created a film of ice on the bottom of his boot of their boots. With that, she rapidly calculated the friction against the sand and increased their speed. She even considered the unevenness of the ground. That's amazing, Arya.
シンのエレメントのおかげでクロックアップの限界が伸びたからね。じゃないとこんなゲートは無理だよ。前を向いて、シン。父さんのためにも1秒でも早く過信浄化をするよ。
Yeah, so where's Agrippa? Whoa! Sand in the desert swiveled as they were attacked by a violent shake. Losing their balance, they rolled across the ground, but quickly got back up.
どうやらこちらに気づいたようね。
Well, if that stops Cube, that's good for us. Guys, let's finish this match at once.
オリジンの過信を相手に本来なら体現相互もいいところですが、シンと一緒ならできるように思えますわね。
Well, you know, I've got experience fighting heinous gods, and heinous origins. Heinous god Cube's rocky mountainous body shook and then gradually turned toward them. They all got into position and were ready to take on her attack. Get ready. We'll stop her here. All right. I'm going to fucking hate this, aren't I? Okay, first off, let's look at her stats. Right? She hates fire. She's neutral to water and wind. She's immune to earth, not surprised. She's resistant to light and dark and physical. Oh boy. That's all my damage though. So let's do this first. Rushing blade, wire chain. Not do cross vanish first. I'm going to do, what is it? Orc javelin? It does decrease the technique, but Blackthorn has counterattack, so, and then sword grinder.
ブラックサーン、先陣を切るアーマーディバイド、ファイヤーチェイン。
Okay, I wasn't surprised. I shouldn't be surprised about the 0 damage, but I got the defense decrease off.
ソードグラインダー、
Sword grinder.
ラッシングブレード。
Oh boy.
ラッシングブレード。
That's 5,000 damage off rip. Right there. So I have good hopes that Namta will not disappoint. So let's Knuckle Bunker. Bind Flash, Cross Vanish. Armor Divide, Dragon Princess Oath.
華麗なる強オーダープリンスアーマーディバイドバインドフラッシュ
I didn't get the paralysis off,
クロスバッ
but
クロスバッ
that's 40. That's about 4280. So slightly less damage than Shin. Okay, right. Shin does 1300 on Knuckle Bunker. Damn. You know, hear me out. Maybe Cube won't be so bad. Infinite roll.
先陣を切るアーマーディバイド
チェーンブレード
インフィニットロール
Okay. Look, if that isn't a showcase of how overpowered I am, I don't know what. I don't know what would. I don't know what is.
当然の結果というものですわね術式展開グラビティブレイク
That was meant to be a harder version of Cube, and I struggled more on the base version than the heinous version. The weight of the gravity suddenly was placed on heinous god Cube's body. Cracks began to form on her outer shell as she lost her posture. Her neck lowered and sunk into the sand as a muffled grunt of anguish was heard.
シン今のうちに
That's a lot of look. That's a lot of corruption you're gonna have to purify. All right.
待って向こうも何か仕掛けているようです
I wouldn't be surprised since Agrippa hasn't showed up yet. On the ground where the heinous god crawled, a different spell circle appeared. The spell carried out ripples against the ground as it changed the surface of where Shin was standing.
地面が崩れる
The desert liquefied in a blink of an eye. Shin's legs were caught as he was dragged down into the quicksand.
シ
Okay, well, that's not how quicksand works, but
ン
okay.
こっちの真似シンの動きを封じようとしていえ違いますこれは
It's Agrippa. Cube was dragging her large body while she continued to move. Clouds of sand rose from her body. Even with the extreme gravity weighing her down, she crawled forward little by little. She was heading toward the sandy prison where Shin was stuck.
まさかあの巨体でシンを押しつぶそうといけませんキュベ様を止めなくては重力限界止まれ
Arya began to recalculate to strengthen her spell. But Cube didn't stop. Loud rumbles were heard as her outer shell peeled and blood spewed from her wounds. She continued to close in on Shin.
シン私の糸を掴んで早く脱出を
No,
シン
I'll settle this with Cube here. Heinous god purification. Grin ritual.
シンダメ
Shin held his gauntlet up as he was swallowed by the quicksand. Once again, that's not how quicksand works. That was when a shadow appeared above Shin's head. Heinous god Cube. How? reached the edge of the sand prison and attempted to crush Shin with her colossal body. Look, I like being stepped on as much as the next guy, but maybe not by Kyubey, especially in her origin form. Thud. I've got one Corsair blueprint through 6 sorties. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it goes. A terrifying rumble rang. What the fuck? What the fucking Gaius ass background? Where am I? You're an earthbound, bitch. He had a hard time breathing. He thought a great deal of hot air was trapped inside, but the freezing air stung his skin. This must be inside the eclipsed Kyubey. Let me try to channel the corruption and transmit my consciousness. Looks like it's working. Still, it's freezing cold. The area made him feel like he was experiencing death, while his soul was gradually being eaten away. Spell. Circle formation. Apply with 5 primordial elements. While he struggled to feel his limbs, he used the basic spell of the elements to establish his existence. Burning fire became a hot steam of blood. The pure water cleared his consciousness. The flowing wind made him feel the air against his skin, and the rays of the sun revealed the malice that lurked in the darkness. I see what Eclipse of Kyubey was. Something darker than the darkness extended its tentacles, spreading around like gas. It tried to swallow Shin. The dust has the destroyer spell. No, a curse embedded in it. Don't tell me he's planned this all along. The dark tentacles coiled around him. The gas was its own, with its own will tried to enter his body from his closed mouth and nose. All he could feel were negative emotions filled with hate and rage. They all stirred up inside, and the condensed malice stuck to his soul. It's almost as if my heart is being dyed black. Was Kyubey also tainted by the hatred? This is trying to taint me as well. But this, and this is trying to taint me as well. I see how it is. It's a trap. He knew I was going to try and purify the heinous god, so he set a trap from the start. But I won't lose sight of myself again. The curse that interfered with his soul tried to change Shin's heart. Violent urges swelled, lust, gluttony, and different cravings mixed. Joke's on you. I already craved those. What? Making it difficult to keep his sanity. Shin was familiar with this feeling. The phenomenon is in which excess matter is generated when the Philosopher's Stone converts the dust into resources, affecting the psyche. The interference of the corruption. Her identity of corruption was a blend of dust mixed with curses in the form of particles. But the destroyer's hatred is not mine. I don't want to lose against the corruption. I'm on the law route, baby. He swam within the darkness, focused on the connection from the elements to keep his sanity. The weight that held his body down suddenly withdrew. Shin's body, no, his soul flew through the cursed space, as if he had been released from gravitational forces. Beyond his vision was... Oh, Kyubey. That's what I said. A girl clad in baggy garments, floating in the void. Shin reached out towards her, however a tentacle from the darkness clung to him and tried to stop his movement. Shin struggled to get away. I won't lose. Let me go. The light from the elements broke down the darkness. It tore away the gravity and used the driving force to stretch his fingers as far as he could. I am an alchemist who reveals the truth. Curses be gone. He then drove straight into Kyubey, holding a petite girl. Shin's sword in the air, attempting to go after him. tentacles of darkness followed. Finally, I managed to get all the primordial elements: earth, water, fire, wind, and sunlight. Look, never mind. The elements are now complete and can purge the corruption from the dust. Flashbang. The innocence of the earth. Instantly, divine light was formed within Shin as the dark space was reversed into an immaculate white. Flashbang. Oh, fucking Mega Mind looking ass. Fucking the guy from Monsters vs. Aliens looking ass. A bone-chilling scream rose. His small body squirmed in the sand as Agrippa rolled down the slope. The soundtrack is pretty. Look, I've been talking about the soundtrack a bit, but it's pretty good. It's definitely a highlight of the game. I wouldn't. Are you talking about Azulayan or are you talking about Ars Magna? Because I know about Azulayan. I don't listen to the music in that game. Ars Magna, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't add it to a playlist, but you know, pretty dope. What Henry was referring to was a pillar of light that protruded out from the ground. The light came from inside the quicksand Shin was in. It was causing a phenomenon that was pushing away heinous god Kyubei's massive body. That's what the narration said, yes?
それだけではありません。送信の構成物質を再構築しているようです。たった一人で触媒もなく過信浄化を進めているというんですの？
He is the catalyst.
なんて神業。開祖の奇跡そのものだわ。
No, it's not an act of God. It's just main character syndrome. It's just the act of a main character.
これが資源の5元素を揃えた賢者の石。真の力。
Okay. Audi, I don't drive that car. Audi. You know, for someone with a big head like him, I'd expect him to be a lot smarter than this. As Kyubei was getting purified by ominous black mist, getting purified, an ominous black mist flooded out from Agrippa's body like flares. Slumping forward like a dead tree, the destroyer began letting out curses. The black mist wavered as if it mirrored his hatred.
あれはダストの汚れでしょうか。あの男、本当に人間ですの？あんな量の汚れを体内に溜め込んでいたなんて。
You're asking this now? Maltina, he's been corrupting everything at this up to this point. I don't think that's a question you should be asking. You should know the answer. No, the curse contained inside the corruption is what makes up Destroyer Agrippa. Kyubei nullified, the power of the quicksand weakened, and Shin was able to get out by himself. After crawling out, Shin eyed Agrippa, who was down on his knees.
Shin, 呪いが本体ってどういう意味?
It means exactly what I said. The reason why the sage, Nicola, turned into a destroyer was due to the corruption. Microscopic spells were engraved into the components of the dust. It's a hatred so strong, like a curse, that was nested deep inside of him. When I was purifying Kyubei, I touched the curse that dwelled in the corruption. Just like how the god was transformed into a heinous god, tried to change me into a destroyer.
汚れにそんな意志のようなものがあるというんですか?
Nah.
では、 私たちが戦ってきた相手は
Why are you asking this now? So, that mist of corruption is the real Agrippa.
まさかそんな
Arya swallowed her breath. For her, the sage Nicola was her real father. If the curse was the cause of Nicola's transformation to Agrippa, there was no way she could keep calm. Nicola was hopeful about the future of Sochi and strongly believed in protecting it. If that absurd curse was what distorted him,
許せないそんなものあっていいはずがない
well, I mean, you know, Shin's probably gonna purify Agrippa and Cinderella after, you know, even after Cinderella probably is going to kill Alberto's, you know how it is. Arya,
ダメだ、うかつに近づくな。
何か起こるすごいの来るみんな気をつけろ
an immense storm suddenly swirled from where Agrippa stood. Shin quickly shoved Arya down to protect her. Plenty of sand and gravel hit his entire body, making it impossible to keep his eyes open, even with a hood on. The dust concentration is crazy, and they create a force field, or will all corrode.
シンあっちに父さんが
I know, but I have to do something about the sandstorm, or we'll all be finished. Or we're all finished. He knew that the source of the sandstorm was the fog of corruption that emerged from Agrippa. As Shin set a barrier to neutralize the dust, he and Arya walked over to where Albertus was.
シン、アリア、無事か？
Yes, you seem fine too, surprisingly.
ハイカブリ姫との交戦中だったが、彼女の様子がおかしくなったので警戒していたらこれだよ。この砂嵐、忘れもしない。かつて私がニコラと共にオーズ遠征に赴いた時、教会への道を阻んでいたのと同じものだ。
A dust storm caused by the destroyer's curse. I yawned the whole sentence.
じゃあやっぱり全部呪いのせいってこと
Arya appeared enraged. She looked up at the dust storm surrounding them from under her hood as she clenched her fist.
どこまでも忌々しい奴らよ。勝手に会社の子孫を継いだような面をしよって。何も知らぬガキが井の中の蛙が貴様らの薄っぺらな心理ごと塵に返してやる。
His voice, echoing from inside the sandstorm.
破壊者の怨念、どこだ？位置を見極めねば。
任せて私が
Arya quickly placed her hand on a spiral circuit, began to analyze the dust concentration to determine the core of the corruption that blended with the sandstorm.
クロックアップリミッター解除嵐にうごめく悪意の確保
無理をするなアリア。長時間のクロックアップは負担が大きい。
今無理しなくていいっつうのそれに父さんより私の方が汚れの感覚は慣れてるかな
Arya gritted her teeth. The hands of her spiral circuit spun rapidly as spells were written at full speed.
見えた10時の方向距離3メートル移動される前に早く
Alright. Without hesitation, Shin drew his blade out from his gauntlet. A trail of light followed a slash as it cut the sandstorm for a moment.
やったか。
I felt something, but an indescribable feeling of discomfort was frustrating. Shin's blade did not cut through the corruption. but that felt weak for a core of a curse. It was more like cutting through an empty shell.
し危ない
The next moment, the sandstorm appeared to have expanded from the inside. A black shadow ripped across the sand and attempted to cover Shin, who lowered his guard after slashing it. Cinderella? Did she lose her sanity after being affected by the corruption's curse?
逃げなさいしアリア
Master. A gust of wind, different from the sandstorm, struck the two and blasted both Shin and Arya back. Alberto summoned the wind to protect them. Master instead took on Cinderella's assault instead of Shin. It's not like I said this was gonna happen or anything.
またうぬかアルベルトス。じゃがこうなればうわうぬの体を使ってくれる。よこせ貴様の魂体を。
Alberto's body was surrounded by the black mist. He crawled into his body right in front of Shin's eyes as his body began to violently shake. So like Shin, you gonna like purify him or anything?
私のせいだ。ハイカブリ姫の気配に騙されて破壊者の位置をつかみ損なったから。
So, he planned this since the start. He used Cinderella as a decoy. He wouldn't have done that if Agrippa decided to keep Nicola. Since he was just a form of pure hatred with no attachment for Cinderella, he should use her as a meat shield. He could use her as a meat shield. Anyway, I have to tear that curse away from Master.
し、うかつに踏み込むな。女カイマが狙っているぞ。
Okay, I can purify her as well. And she's hot, so I have more incentive. But okay, well, maybe not in these moments. So, turning his body, Shin managed to dodge her tentacle whip blade. In the meantime, Alberto staggered off into the depths of the sandstorm like a puppet. With the destroyer gone, Cinderella also disappeared into the dust while heavily breathing.
追いかけなくちゃ。落ち着いてアリア。砂嵐の中に飛び込んだらいくら結界のカゴがあってもすぐ沈下してしまうわ。でもこのままじゃ父さんが。
Well, you know, Shin's job is to purify the dust, so like, you know, he will. He should.
では我に挽回の機会をもらおうかな。
Okay, well, Cube,
もう大丈夫なんですか？
right in front of them stood Cube in the form of a young girl. Her main body that eclipsed into a heinous god was left in a distant area.
正直平気などとは強がりでも言えん状態じゃがの。こんな時にへばっているわけにもゆくまいて。
So what will you do?
我が砂嵐の勢力を弱める。今のお主たちなら進める程度にな。
そんなことができるんですか？
かなりギリギリじゃが、そうさな。猫の手も借りたいくらいじゃ。風の力を貸してもらおうかの。
おや、猫の手とは言ってくれるものだね、キュベ。
Oh. Hello, Tiamat. Whoa! His gauntlet suddenly reacted and surprised Shin. The voice that echoed was the origin of the wind, Tiamat.
状況は理解しているよ。抜き差しならないことになっているようだ。
Yeah, you know, we can fight wind with wind.
僕とキュベで砂嵐に風穴を開けるから、君たちはその間に先へ進むといい。
I wasn't being serious, Tiamat. Hello, Saint Quartz. Got it. I'm counting on you, Tiamat. Cube.
では行くよ。風を吹け。
大地よ、静まれ。
Unlike the time she was a heinous god, a gentle yet refreshing breeze blew. It cut the sandstorm while making a whoosh to cut the air. The black and white winds clashed, causing a shockwave from an explosion. Whoa!
何も見えません。どうなったんですの？案ずるな。道はできた。
Yube's calm voices. Wait, what? Yube's calm voices were still clearly heard among the strong winds. The clouds of sand calmed as her vision became clear. Jin saw two types of winds clashing and caused many twin tornadoes to rise.
すごい。竜巻が砂嵐を巻き上げている。
Space formed between the tornadoes, so we should go through there.
危険なことには変わりないがの。これが今我らのできる精一杯よ。進めるか、シン。
Thank you, Cube. Tiamat. I'm going to take the path you worked hard to create. He nodded before turning to Arya. Are you alright?
落ち着いた。さっきのミスは必ずすすいでみせるから。
It's not your mistake, though. The destroyer, the hatred was more cunning than we imagined.
そんなの言い訳にならないよ。相手がどんなに狡猾でも私たちはそれを上回ってみせなくちゃ。そうじゃなきゃ父さんは助け出せない。
Arya,
心を燃やしても頭はクリアに。どんな時でも冷静に事態を見据えて真理を見極める。
that's...
父さんの無敵のアルベルトスの教え、もう一度肝に銘じる。そうじゃなきゃ賢者の娘の直れでしょ。
Back then, Albertus acted through his beliefs. That was why he was able to react to Cinderella's surprise attack quickly and protected them. Now it's our turn.
行こう、シン。父さんを助けに。そして今度こそ破壊者と決着をつけるの。
Yeah. Arya appeared behind her. Beyond her gaze was Agrippa, buried partially under the sand. No, Nicola's dry wood-like body was laying on the ground.
汚れの呪いなんてものがなければ彼もきっと。
Arya,
終わらせなくちゃ。こんな悲劇はもうたくさん。
yeah, I agree. Arya wiped her eyes roughly and did not turn back around. What the fuck? Okay. 0.4. Wow. So much. Let's keep going. See,
頼りにしていますわ。
now all of these fights are going to be ash demons. And this is a big... It leads all the way to the boss, at least. Alright. Ash demons. Yep,
こいつとっちめればいい。
that's what I expected. Oh, thanks for the hydrate.
アーマーディバイド
And stretch. My back. Oh shit, she's poisoned.
ダスケエッジダスケエッジ
Holy damage, Shin.
トルネードスピホークチャネリンホークチャネリン自分の信念をどこまでも貫くまで
Alright.
ねえねえこれっていいものかしら有効活用するとしましょう
Now, I'll be surprised what this crest tile is going to give me.
正々堂々と戦いましょう
This is the first time we've seen a snake? Ash demon. I think. Maybe wrong on that.
アーマーディバイド
チェーンブレードチェーンブレード
シンフォニックギアオーバーシュラスハルバードシュラスハルバード
よし
I'll send you plant. I worked tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Well, have a good night, Dexter. Ah, Apprentice Grim Reaper. You know, that is the only crest I was thinking of. Okay, if I want to maybe get a 10. Ah, what the fuck? I was not expecting a proc L. I'll take an Apprentice Grim Reaper then. Unless there's a third. But, I doubt that. Oh, I got Naga. Never mind.
有効活用するとしましょう
Maybe I should have gone to the campsite first.
私を満足させるものかしら休むのも仕事のうちね
Alright. Back.
よくわかんないけどこれいいものか
この術式で活路を開く
アーマーディバイド
ダスケエッジ
Okay, just don't miss. Stop missing.
トルネードスピホークチャネリンホークチャネリンスプレンダークロス
Shin, why couldn't you just do what Henry did? I mean, Namtar did and not miss.
アーマーディバイドトルネードス
ダスケエッジ
Better.
当然の結果というものですわね
やった
Oh, hello. Shin is the master of missing attacks. Yeah, and the problem is that he's actually the damage dealer of the team now. He's dealing more damage than Namtar at the moment. And he's the most susceptible to missing, since he doesn't have a lot of ranged attacks. Stop absorbing.
シンフォニックギアシュラスハルバード
よしこの調子でいこう
ここで少しリラックス 有効活用するとしましょう。
The Namtar is still better considering consistency. Yes, she is better. Oh god damn it, not another horn. Okay, do I want to lose health or lose mana? I wonder. Obviously health.
さあ、かかってらっしゃいな。アーマーディバイド、ホークチャネリン、ホークチャネリン。タルネードスプレータークロス。
助けエッジ
Favorite anime lolly in visual novel?
使命のために。
Also 1000 damage on a basic attack. Good job, Shin. Keep it up. Proud of you.
やった
Dragon meat. Interesting.
ここで補給いたしましょう。
Oh, in visual novels, that's gonna be a hard one. My favorite anime lolly in a VN is
やった
probably Azuki. Yeah.
さあ、かかってらっしゃいな。
Huh? Not Hazuki. Azuki. From fucking Nekopara. There's no H. Man, this guy. What do you mean excluding Nekopara? Nekopara is a visual novel.
チェーンブレードチェーンブレード
If I said like Pearl Faye from Ace Attorney, yeah, I'd kind of get it, but nah.
シンフォニックギア。
Just because second, then why? You didn't ask for my second favorite lolly in anime or games. I gotcha.
アーマーディバイド、タルネードスプレータークロス。自分の
What answer were you expecting?
どこまでも貫くまで。
Go on. What do you mean?
もらっていきましょう。
Second favorite in anime. My second favorite lolly in anime is Ononogi Yotsuki. Actually, no, it's Hachikuji from Monogatari series. Okay, it gotcha. Okay, go fuck yourself. My second favorite guy in Gacha is Nahida. No? Yeah. Ishikikase. Look, I love Yukikaze, okay? But she's only third favorite. You married her? Well, yeah, I'd marry Aya if y'all... I'd marry Aya and Nahida first. Obviously, I just can't. Just because I married one doesn't mean I wouldn't marry the others. Second in the end. Oh my god. I swear to god if you say third. Next. My third favorite lolly in visual novels is... let me think on this. Probably. I would say probably. Fuck. Taking a long time. Well, yeah, I'm trying to think of lollies. And I'm not gonna cop out and say like Chisaki or like I'll allow Ars Magna. I'm not gonna cop out and say fucking Enri or like Chisaki or fucking Kururu. You know what I will cop out on is obviously is fuck. It's been a while since I played it, you know. I gotta remember the names. I'm gonna cop out and say that my second favorite my second favorite lolly is Komachi. Fruits of Grisaya. Okay, well, you know, if it's Fruits of Grisaya, no. What do you mean no? Komachi is a lolly. They're all lollies except what's his name? Osono and Ira. Why are you bringing up Fruits of Grisaya? Bro. Enough. Who's Komachi? The girl that sweeps the snow in front of her house every day. What are you talking about? From Sugar Sweet Temptation. Yes, that's what I said. But which Komachi were you thinking? I forgot you played that one. You gifted it to me. What are you talking about? Also, Shin, why are you going for the wind guys instead of the one I was actually targeting? The fart clouds instead of the snake fart. The next thing you're gonna say is you forgot that you gifted me Clover Days. Okay, I got another crocodile. Yikes. Sachi Infog, I think, for Saya. What do we know? Yeah. You know what? My favorite lolly in visual novels is Neptune. Fuck you. Hyperdimension Neptunia. I think I did everything. It was pretty linear, so it couldn't be that bad. Within the eye of the storm that blew up the dust, the area was calm like an airless area. Arya focused. I mean, she was on the screen. Arya focused to become one with the quiet atmosphere. Closing her eyes, she held up her spiral circuit and scanned through the area with depth and clarity.
クロックアップアンリミテッドブースト。どうアリア、見えた？9時の方向、ダストのよどみ方が不自然。あっちに何か潜んでる。
こちらから仕掛けてみるか。
アリアさんの見立てを信じます。
Sasha and friends stepped forth and fired warning shots in the direction Arya indicated. A cloud of dust rose as the ground was gouged. After a short pause, a black shadow burst out of the sand.
違う。あれ、別のカイマ。
With that said, Nabta held up her spear. He swung her weapon toward the ash demon, then attacked them and pierced it with a harpoon. Pierced it like with a harpoon. Okay, no wonder I was confused.
読み違えた。
No, wait. He won't be fooled twice. He believed in Ari's reading. He clearly examined the area she indicated and tried to spot the slightest change. And then... there it is! Anchor shot. He fired a needle to use as a mark from his gauntlet. The needle shot ripped through the air and sank into the sand. At first it seemed like a simple hole in the ground. However... No, Dad! A low muffled groan was heard, following the sound of a pop. A mound of sand where the mark was suddenly set suddenly rose. From there, Albertos appeared. Wait, are we gonna fight? Are we gonna fight? Are we gonna fight Albertos? That'd be pretty cool. Must have used the air as a cushion and the sand as a cover. That way he can move while being camouflaged.
潜んでいたカイマはおとりだったのね。同じ手をまた使うなんて芸がありませんわね。
参ったな。いや、ここは弟子と娘の成長を喜ぶべきか。
Master. Albertos wobbled and tilted his body as he began walking toward the group. Knowing he was possessed by the curse of the Destroyer, everyone remained alert.
大丈夫だ。呪いは体を蝕んでいるが、まだ意識までは乗っ取られていない。
Ah, then you wouldn't mind if we purified you.
今のうちだ。シン、アリア、汚れの呪いをこの体から追い出せ。手を貸してくれ。
Sure. He tried to run over to his master seeking help. That was when Arya grabbed his shoulder.
ダメよ、シン。騙されちゃダメ。
Arya?
あれは破壊者が父さんの口を借りて喋らせているの。父さんだったら私たちを危険に近づかせないためにも自分で解除を試みようとするはずだもの。
No way.
違う、アリア。私は解除を試みた。しかし、汚れの呪いは強力で、こうして押さえつけておくことしか。
Albertos crouched forth in pain. His body trembled as he began foaming from the corners of his mouth. NSFW Discord, guess which VN? Okay, let me see. Fuck. Huh? I don't want to guess. That did not appear to be an act. And he was really suffering. It's not released in English yet.
相手を騙すのに効果的なのは嘘の中に真実を混ぜること。
Is that what it's called? Or are you just... Real hentai situation too?
父さんが呪いに抗っているのは多分本当。けど主導権は破壊者の側にある。破壊者は父さんの体を完全に支配下に置くために時間を稼ぎたいんだ。
That is indeed a real hentai situation. Who?
だからさっき私たちから逃げたり
Such an
砂
uncreative
の中に
name.
隠れていた。
でも本当に私には本物のアルベルトスが助けを求めてるようにしか見えないの。錬金術師は真理を探求する。そのためには情に流されず冷徹に真実を見極める目が必要になる時がある。父さんの言葉でしょ。
アリア。
He called out her name while Julian glaring with his bloodshot eyes. For the first time, Shin sensed clear malice in the other's expression. It was originally called Japanese Real Eroge Situation. Then why wasn't it called Real why wasn't it called Real Erotic Situation? That would be translated better. One on Steam is called Real Anime Situation. Okay, well, Arya must have been right.
親子の絆、そしてアリアさんの研ぎ澄まされた洞察眼が破壊者の欺瞞を暴いた。
おのれや、小賢しい小娘が。
Also, don't you like pee in anime? Well, I'm not going to comment on that, but I'm going to comment on the other thing. You know, there's a term in anime that you can use instead of like hentai or erotic. They could have just changed it to like, yeah, ecchi. Why didn't they just change it to Real Ecchi Situation? That's literally a better way to say it. That's how you would change the all ages version. Steam? Well, yeah. Steam is Steam. You say that, but there's still porn games on Steam. Right? Uncensored, too. A strong spasm hit Alberto's body. Falling to his knees, he held his chest and shook his head while letting out an eerie cry. A lot of VNs get delisted after being approved. I can guarantee it was not Steam that changed the name. It was the localizers who changed the name to have the all ages version be called Real Anime Situation instead of Ecchi. And then Master.
近づいてはいけない。私から離れるんだ。さもなければ君たちまで呪いの犠牲に。
You say that, Albertos, but like, I have been in contact with the curse for a while now. You know, when I purified Cube, you know, so you know, purifying you is not going to be that big of an issue. I was literally surrounded by it, you know. Light of wisdom returned to Albertos' eyes. As expected, he spoke to them in a worried tone and attempted to back away as much as he could. Nah, that's also Agrippa.
アリアさんのおっしゃった通り、呪いとせめぎ合っているんですわ。
Don't give up, Master. I'm coming. That sounds wrong. This time he didn't hesitate to exercise the curse devouring his master. Chin darted forward. That was when. Huh? Chin stopped in his tracks as a gust of wind rose. Chin covered his face with his hand and turned to see who created the wind. Arya? Why?
あれもブラフだよ。シンをおびき出すために引いてみせてるの。
Bro, I literally called it out. I told you that was also Agrippa. What? No way.
根拠はあるの？あれが破壊者の演技だって。冷静に、冷徹にだよ。あいつは何としても私たちをそばに引きつけたいんだ。その理由を考えれば狙いは見えてくる。風よ、叩け！エアーハンマー！
We can't not fight Agrippa. I mean, we can't not fight Albertos. Using the wind she generated, it directly turned into a shockwave. The impact created by the compressed air struck the ground by Albertos. The ground caved in, and a small crater was formed, and lurking right under was. Oh, it's Mommy. I mean,
ハイカブリ姫？
yeah, that name.
やっぱりね、罠だったんだ。もし私やシンが無防備に近づいていたら、地中のハイカブリ姫にやられていた。よくわかりましたね、アリアさん。
So we're gonna be fighting Agrippa. I mean, we're gonna be fighting Albertos and Cinderella.
ダストの反応値を自分と被せて偽装してたようだけど、さっき後ずさった瞬間に揺らぎが生じたから。
Even at that moment, Shin tried to rush out to his master. Ari was still observing the rates with her spiral circuit. Best to stay calm and remain undisturbed in urgent situations. That was how Ari managed to prevent Shin from encountering a crisis. He would have been fine.
薄情な娘じゃな。父親の苦しみをあれほど演出してやったという。所詮は血のつながらない親。その程度の絆ということか。
Okay, real dad, whatever you say. No, it was because she cared and he was precious to her. She acted ruthlessly to save him.
うざい。聞いてないわ。こうなれば実力行
I
使。
didn't ask.
ハイカブリ姫、役に立ってもらうぞ。
破壊者、私を操り人形にするなんて。
破壊者はまだ完全には父さんの体を支配してない。今ならまだ間に合うはずだよ。
Yeah, it also seems like Cinderella's kind of wavering in her own way as well. In her ways as well. I know. Guys, hold on. Hold down. Cinderella for me. I've released Master from that curse.
やれるものならやってみろ。
You say that like I didn't literally already purify Cube, the biggest motherfucker that you've corrupted up to this point. So like an adult-sized human is not any different.
友達守る。
First of all, of course I'm gonna have to, you know, not that. Alright, let's hope that I not only get the defense decrease off, but I also have the Maltina skill.
ブラックサーン。
The attack up off. There you go.
エンジンを切るアーマーディバイド。ファイヤーチェイン。
Okay, I got the defense decrease on both of them,
ラッシングブレード。
and I did not get the attack up.
ラッシングブレード。
ソードグラインダー。
There's Sword Grinder.
ブレードテッチ。
Alright, so now Knuckle Bunker. Bind Flash, Cross Vanish, Armor Divide, Symphonic Gear. Fuck it.
先陣を切るアーマーディバイドバインダーフラッシュ
ナックルパンカーナックルパンカ
クロスバン
Oh, goodbye! Goodbye, Albertos!
クロスバン
Goodbye, Cinderella! It's another 2-turn battle. Oh my god. At least Cube took 3 turns. Oh, I gotta send you a plan. Wow. Bro. Look, at least I'm not 1-turning them. That's the only silver lining. The battle against the Destroyer was reaching the end. The Corruption's curse seemed incomplete, and Alberto's spell lacked the finesse of the 3 sages. Did it? I wasn't really paying attention. He only attacked like once. You know how it is. Cinderella tried to overwhelm it with a massive amount of dust, but Shin and the others coordinated to reduce her power. Finally, the moment to execute the spell arrived.
破壊せよグラビティブレイク
Arya crushes balls. But within the intense gravitational force, Cinderella's body was plastered to the ground. With both her hands on the ground, she was unable to even stand.
今よし
Thanks, Arya. While Arya held down Cinderella, Shin hurried over to Albertos. Consumed by the corruption, Albertos began casting a spell, using the dust. As he controlled his spiral circuit, the black mist formed into a tornado.
図に乗るな小僧我が風で粉みじんにしてくれるわ
I don't know about you, Agrippa, but do you not remember when I used my light powers and it literally dissolved any of the dust that touched me?
させません
Oh, Sonya's doing something.
往生際が悪いですわよ
Oh,
帰
they're
り
all
なさい破
they're
壊者
Maltina's actually doing something.
は
Oh, Celeste. Shin drew closer. His friends backed him up. Oh, that's Karina with a K. But compared to Karina with a C. Miss Sonya's protection spell weakened the power of the tornado as Maltina's dog, clad in durable armor, dove right into the winds. Albertos attempted to change directions, but Celeste foresaw his moves and stopped him from advancing. Thanks, guys.
礼を言うなら勝利の後でですわ
You can't not have a climactic battle without all of their CGs.
言ってシン
You know, we've seen all of them now, so now it's time for Shin to do his thing and become the piss man he's always meant to be. Yeah, I'll exercise the curse of corruption. Shin instantly closed in and slammed his gauntlet covered fist into Alberto's. He just punched him. Didn't even use any of the or any of the elements. Apply ceremonial methods of heinous god purification. Bell targets set to corruption particles inside the body. Determine the source of the curse.
やべえ
A bizarre scream unlikely of Alberto's was heard. His hand reached for Shin's neck, but the waves of purification flowing through his body captured the hatred. I'll extinguish you here right now, so you'll never possess anyone ever again.
うざ だからだヘルネスの意味語が
Hermes, the son child of an apostle? What the fuck?
集中を乱しちゃダメなの。
Yeah, I know why your focus is waning. Curse of corruption, the hatred of the dust. I want to know how an existence like you came to be. He's become Pierce, but for now, purging you from my master is first. I can find the truth at the boundary.
真実などうぬらにいるものか
Well, considering I'm close to the end of the game, I kind of do. The dispelling ritual was still in progress. As the corruption was detected, the particles to eliminate the curse were extracted through the elements and applied like a vaccine against the virus. COVID reference, I mean... Never mind. Alberto's anguish screams turned into cries of malice. Ow.
そうしえもクソくらいじゃ
アグリッパ。
So like, we're gonna purify Arya's mom, or is she gonna like...
どうしてそこまで憎むの？
知らないということは幸せよね。希望なんて言葉を無邪気に信じていられるんだもの。
You know, Cinderella, you and Nicola aren't the only ones who reached the edge of Sochi. You do realize the other sages did as well.
ハイカブリ姫、あなただって昔はそうだったんじゃないの？カイマになる前、人間だった頃は。
Cinderella continued to crawl as she gazed up at Arya mockingly. As if her emotions were about to explode, Arya's shoulders shook as she took heavy breaths.
確かに私は何も知らなかった。自分の生まれのことも残酷な真実を知らされず、ぬくぬくしていたのかもしれない。でもそれがそんなにいけないこと？私たちはここまで来たんだよ。この道はかつてあなたたちがたどったものと同じでしょ。
勘違いしないで。私は一人ぼっちのハイカブリ。生まれた時から世界の敵とされた女。人間の親子の情なんてこれっぽっちもない。
Okay, well,
あなたの欲しい言葉なんてあげない。
Well, you still remember your time as a human, so you're just bluffing at this point.
何？ショックを受けた顔をして。この手を拒絶した。
You mind speaking up, Cinderella? You're kind of getting muted out by the music. Thank you.
なんて忌々しい。私は幸せになりたかっただけなのに。触れれば全てを塵に変えてしまうこの手を握ってくれる誰かを求めていただけなのに。
Listen, I know what you're spewing, but
勝手なことを言わないで。背を向けたのはあなたでしょ。
you're a pretty shitty parent.
真なら手を通ってくれるかもしれなかったのに、ラムちゃんみたいに共存の道があったかもしれないのに。あなたは自分で台無しにした。自分から孤独を選んで捨てられたような言い草は通じない。
知った風の口を。お前も私のようになれば。いいえ、お前さえ生まれてこなければ私はもっと
Bitch, you didn't even know Arya existed until you saw her. You didn't. What do you mean?
買いたぜー。アリアさんダメです。近づいちゃう。触手を地中に潜ませているぞ。
Damn. The tentacles sprouted from beneath the sand and coiled around Arya's legs.
コルネリアが産んだ娘はハイカブリの塵に帰る。それが定めよね。
Yeah, but you are Cornelia. I don't know what you are on this. I don't know what you're not getting here, Cinderella. No way.
いいのか、小僧。早く助けねば、あの娘が陣化するぞ。
How dare you say that in front of my master, in my master's voice? Arya's screams drowned out Shin's enraged roar. Cinderella's tentacles digging into her ankles gradually seeped dust into her. Her skin began to turn black like charcoal. Meanwhile, Arya's spell came to a halt, and Cinderella was released from the extreme gravity. So, like, you guys gonna do anything, or?
アリアから離れなさい。
You are.
さもないと私を殺すというわけ。できるかしら、今のあなたたちに。
触手がアリアさんを持ち上げて。
Bro, she's doing the exact same thing she did with Namtar, man.
これでは狙えない。
That trick doesn't work. That trick won't work anymore.
世界が私を拒絶するなら、私も世界を拒絶する。こうなれば何もかも道連れにしてあげるわ。
Okay, well, the Arya literally just told you was that you are the one who rejected the world, dumbass. Cinderella laughed as she held Arya and used her as her own shield. Even then, the erosion progressed and the corruption symptom created stains on her skin. They were at their limit. Shin paused the purification ritual against Albertos and attempted to deal with Cinderella.
いや、行くのは私たちだけで十分だろう、コルネリア。
Oh. A shadow like a withered tree was suddenly, yeah, you could say that again, standing beside Cinderella and Arya. The sand used for camouflage scattered as one of the three sages, Nicola, turned a more rational gaze towards his wife and daughter. I mean, you know, all of Agrippa went into fucking Albertos and left Nicola, so like,
大丈夫だ、アリア。お前を循環などさせない。自分の妻さえ守れなかった私だが。
父さん。
oops.
大丈夫だ、アリア。
You mind speeding up? I know you're dying and all, but you know, if you didn't pause every second word.
娘くらいはな。
父さん。
Nearly slipping, Arya quickly shook her head.
私の父さんは一人だけ。今さら。
それでいい。返す言葉もない。だけどせめて尻拭いくらいはさせてくれ。自分の愚かさと弱さが招いた災いの始末だけは。
Nicola raised the skull in his hand as the empty sockets lit up. The tentacles of dust untied Arya and were sucked into the skull's mouth. Released from the restraints, Arya fell.
破壊者の術のおかげでダストの操作ができる。それでお前を助けられるとは皮肉なものだな、アリ
アグリッパ。
アグリッパ。そうだな。霊種のニコラなんて男はもうどこにもいない。ここにいるのは残りかす。君と同じだ、コルネリア。
私はコルネリアではないわ。あなたの愛しい妻はとうの昔に塵になった。この私はただの似姿というだけ。
そう、お前はカイマ、人間の僕の妻だった人ではない。僕はそれを認めることができなかったから。君の姿にすがってしまったから。その弱さを破壊者につけ込まれた。
おかげでいい夢を見れたでしょ。破壊者の知識からダストの体制を得たあなたは私と触れ合えた。私にとってもあなたの存在は無料を癒してくれた。けれどその時間は短かったわね。やがてあなたの体は醜く崩れ出した。そのおぞけを振るうような顔を私の隣を歩くにはふさわしくなかった。
姿だけじゃない。僕は心までも破壊者の狂気に蝕まれていたさ。憎しみや妬みに疲れてソシエを壊したくてたまらなくなった。だが
Nicola closed his eyes once, and the next moment he opened it. His eyes were filled with strong determination.
だがそれも終わりだ。僕たちにはツケを払う時が来た。
贖罪ならあなた一人で生きなさい。私を幸せにできなかったくせに。
Cinderella's hair extended, and the hardened tassel cut through Nicola's body many times. His body, in the last stages of the corruption, disease crumbled into pieces from just a touch from the ash demon's tentacles. But he extended his tattered arm and touched Arya's body.
贖罪。僕の犯した罪は償えるものじゃない。だからこれは結局僕のエゴだよ。コルネリアと同じ顔をした君にこれ以上最悪をもたらしてほしくないというね。
The Skull Ether Gear, the ash furnace of Alatu, began activating its final spell. Great amounts of dust poured out as the area around Nicola was surrounded by a black mist.
アルラトゥの廃炉が周囲のダストを無差別無尽蔵に吸い上げる。本来は大規模術式を行使するためのものだが、今の君を消滅させるには十分だな。
ふざけ死ねたが。
いや、終わりだ。破壊者の怨念とともに。
Nicola moved his bulging eyes and turned around. Right as Cinderella began to perish, Shin was almost done with the purification ritual on Alberto's.
Nicola, ソシエの真実を知りながら今さら我に立てつくとは。
This is it, Destroyer. Get out of my master's body. Purify and ascend. The blessings of the 5 elements will terminate the corruption. Lastly, a large convulsion ran through him. Once Alberto's shivers came to an end, a black mist rose from his body. The curse was not strong enough to keep a single form, and eventually unraveled into the void. Master! Master! Master!
大丈夫だ。し、呪いは私の中から去った。
What do you think about Nicola? I mean, you just read the title of the stream and you know my feelings. He felt his strength building inside as he supported himself. Alberto stepped forth on the ground on his own as he eyed his former friend, who was on the verge of his death.
Nicola.
Explain? How can I not? What do you mean explain? Here's the explanation. Everything has been front-loaded towards the end of the game about Nicola. None of this was foreshadowed, except for the part where we knew that there were 3 sages, and we haven't heard anything about Nicola until it is suddenly revealed that Nicola is also Agrippa. I meant his character. Like I said, if they spread it out throughout the game, it would have been more impactful, but instead of doing that, they just, like I just said before, front-loaded everything towards the end of the game. Should I say backloaded? Kind of what it is. Still impactful. I mean, yeah, you can think that. But the problem is that I can't have the same... I feel empathetic, sure. But, you know, that scene of the flashback happened like 2 hours ago. Instead of when it should have happened like 70% of the way through the game. You know, when we first got the reveal that Nicola was Agrippa, that's when the flashback should have happened. And then the reveal of Agrippa being Nicola should have happened in the second encounter, right? Like the encounter after the forest. Why do you focus on the floor so much? You're asking for my opinion on the game. What do you think I'm gonna say? Oh, it's a masterpiece. You wanted this. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna say all the good points.
Alberta さすがだな。破壊者の支配に抗ったか。
Not everything is a masterpiece. That's not the point of what I'm saying.
素晴らしい弟子に助けられた。そして君の娘にも。アリアはお前の娘だ。私は何もしてやれなかった。未来に希望を届けたかったのに。
The problem is that we didn't really have a goal until the first expedition to the edge of Sochi. So we should have had something before that to be like, so we could have something to strive towards. Like, I don't know, maybe purifying Nicola or something like that. But you know, we got the reveal during the expedition, so we already had a goal in mind, which was to reach the edge of Soshi. Purifying Nicola or dealing with Agrippa became more of a side thing. The goal was to save Soshi. Yeah, that's too big of a goal to start off with. That's not right? Like in I'm gonna use Xenoblade Chronicles as an example, right? Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because I've already compared the games to each other. Rex's main goal, Rex being the main character of Xenoblade Chronicles 2, his main goal was to reach how am I blanking on the name? God damn it. Reach Elysium, right? And then when you get to once he reaches Elysium, right? His new goal then is essentially to save the world, right? The main focus, the main goal is it should not be to save the world. There should be other goals that are more achievable, essentially, right? Like, going back to the start of the game, the idea that Shin and his friends are going to save the world is unfathomable. And I mean, look, I know it's gonna happen. Everyone knows that it's gonna happen at the end. But Shin's main goal shouldn't be to save the world. It should have been to, I mean, you know, the goal he had in mind was to get all the elements first, right? And then it's to go to the edge of Soshi, and then in turn he will save the world. Essentially, right? I don't know if I'm explaining it right. Let's just keep going. With regret in his voice, Nicola turned to the crumbling Cinderella. Her ash demon body no longer kept its original form and was decaying like smoke. The sign of disintegration were also appearing on Nicola's body.
ニコラの体が崩れていってる。ドクロにダストを食われて。あの方、一応人間なのですわよね。それなのにどうして？
おそらくだが、長らく呪いの支配を受け、ダストに触れている間に、生きながらカイマの性質に近づいていったのだろう。
Essentially what I'm saying is that the saving the world aspect is more like a byproduct of the main character's goal, which you would expect his goal to constantly evolve over time, right? And I mean, Shin is doing that. His goal at the start was like to save the world, and then it was to reach the edge of Soshi, but before he could do that, it was to get all of the elements, and then, you know, to get all of the elements he needed to go to all of the origins, and then after he did that, blah blah blah, you know. See, that part, it's not like I don't dislike it's not like I dislike every character in this game. I just, you know, I just feel like Agrippa could have been handled better. Nicola could have been handled better, so that this would have been more impactful. Essentially.
さもなければ、奴の体はとうに限界を迎え、跡形もなく沈下していたはずだ。ふさわしい。
末路だな。
Nicola snickered as Albertos eyed him with pity. He then leaned forth and embraced Cinderella. Cinderella no longer had the strength to resist, and simply just stared into space.
アリアさん、これが最後です。何か言葉を。せめて悔いがないよ。
With Miss Sonia's support, Arya stood up, gazing at Nicola and Cinderella crumbling away. She hesitated slightly before quietly releasing her voice.
私はやっぱりあなたたちを親だなんて思えない。私を育ててくれたのは父さんだし、一緒にいてくれた家族は死んだった。でも霊種のニコラ、そしてその妻にして助手のコルネリア、二人が偉大な錬金術師だったことは認める。あなたたちが残した記録や研究書はみんなの指標になった。そこには錬金術師の目指すべき未来があった。だから私はあなたたちに敬意を払う。
Arya raised her ether gear and dispersed glowing blue particles. It gently rained down on the tattered Nicola.
沈下病を緩和するための中和剤。けどあの体ではもう。それでも苦しみを和らげるくらいはできますわ。アリアさんは延命ではなく、あの方の死に尊厳をあげようとしているんですの。
Arya. Everyone watching, Arya continued to use her spell. Her lips shut tight, face looked as if she was trying to hold back her tears.
すまん。ありがとう。アリア。そしてソシエの錬金術師よ。破壊者の呪いに勝ち、ここに立つお前たちにはきっと真実を受け止める強さがある。絶望に負けて僕のようにはなるな。未来はお前たちの手の中。
Nicola's voice trailed off. Final stage of corrosion weathering began. His body was sinking into the sand. His dust merged into Cinderella's and soon became indistinguishable. A gust of wind blew. The dust that was once Nicola and Cinderella blew and was carried off into the skies. There was not a trace left of them left. Arya stood and stared down at the plain sand. At last, he was freed from the destroyer's hatred. I think he left satisfied.
良い手向けとなっただろう。辛い思いをさせたね、アリア。
Arya spun around in an instant. Her face all scrunched. She clung onto Albertos.
アリア、すまない。すまなかった。
Pressing her face against her father's chest, Arya continued to cry loudly. Seeing his daughter in tears, Albertos patted her back as he repeated his words of apology. Beside them was the skull on the ground. The light in its eye sockets was flickering weakly.
コルネリア、見てくれ。 ようやく脱行したんだ。
おめでとう。アルベルトスさんとずっと徹夜続きだったものね。私も手伝えればよかったんだけど。
君は今大事な体だからね。無理をさせるわけにはいかないよ。
ありがとう。でもこれで一息つけたわけね。現代錬金術体系後進のしるべとなるべく綴られた錬金術の学術書。
ああ、だけどこれはまだ未完だ。完成のためには開祖の高みまで至らなくては。
本当にそんなことができるのかしら。
そのための巡礼だ。僕はね、後に続く錬金術師たちに真理へ続く道を開いてやりたいんだよ。もちろんこの子のためにも。
Nicola gently touched Cornelia's stomach. Cornelia laughed, appalled.
気が早いわよ。この子が錬金術師になるって決まったわけでもないのに。
いや、僕たちの子だぞ。きっと聡明で立派な術師になるさ。
まあ、生まれる前からもう親バカ仕方ないわね。だったら巡礼を成功させないと。
ああ、もちろんだ。僕はやるぞ、コルネリア。
After gathering the elements, finishing the fight to the death with the destroyer, Finn and his friends headed back with the exhausted Arya and Albertos. The oasis which Cube protected until she turned into a heinous god eased both their minds and bodies. They spent their time together, preparing for their departure to the border and endpoint of the pilgrimage, the edge of Sochi. Look, I talk about how they could fix things with Agrippa, but at the end of the day, I still like the game. We're gonna stop here, yes. But look at that, we've got some side stories to do, and you know, we'll be doing those next time. Alchemy of Harmony first. I'm waiting for the Namta Enri threesome, but you know, until then, thank you for watching.